Indian polity. Charter Act 1793. The Charter Act of 1793, formerly known as the Charter Act of the British East India Company, was an important piece of legislation that regulated and governed the activities of the East India Company in India. Here are some key points about the Charter Act of 1793. Renewal of Companies Charter. The Act renewed the Company's Charter for an additional 20 years, extending its monopoly on trade with India. The company had been granted a monopoly on British trade with India through previous Charter Acts, and the 1793 Act continued this arrangement. Expansion of companies' dominions. The Act allowed the company to expand its territorial possessions in India through conquest or annexation with the permission of the British government. This provision further solidified the company's control over large parts of India. Regulation of companies' trade. The Act established regulations for the company's trade in India. It prohibited private individuals from engaging in certain trade activities that were reserved for the company. This reinforced the company's monopoly and protected its interests. Appointment of Governor General. The Act made provisions for the appointment of a Governor General of Bengal, who would have authority over the company's territories in India. This position was held by Lord Cornwallis, who played a significant role in implementing administrative and judicial reforms in the company's territories. Judicial reforms. The Act introduced significant changes to the judicial system in India. It established a Supreme Court in Calcutta and subordinate courts in other presidencies. It aimed to improve the administration of justice and establish a more structured legal system. Introduction of censorship. The Act imposed censorship on the press in India. It required all newspapers and printed materials to obtain licenses and receive approval from the government before publication. This was an attempt to control the spread of information and prevent criticism of the company. Christian missionaries. The Act permitted Christian missionaries to enter and propagate their faith in India. This marked a change in the company's attitude towards religious activities and opened the door for increased missionary work in the country. The Charter Act of 1793 was part of a series of legislative acts that regulated the East India Company's activities and influence in India. It aimed to consolidate the company's control, establish a more structured legal system, and address various administrative matters. Thank you.